Good morning, ladies and gents. Welcome to Crypto Chat UK. I have managed to get in the office early today, so I am raring to go. I've been looking at many things the last few days, particularly the market, how it's been going, certainly over the last week or so. It's been really going well, so I want to talk about that today. I also want to talk about altcoins, just a couple of altcoins in general, but how the percentage of growth could be better for you than actually Bitcoin. There is one article I want to go for. As you know, I'm very much into Bitcoin, and I do believe that everybody should get Bitcoin. There is this article that I'm going to show you now. I don't agree with every single item that it says, but it does make some really good points. So we're going to go through that, and we'll have a look at the market as well. Let's get right into it. I've got my coffee, by the way, so it's all good. Got a bit of coffee going on. I think you need that on a Sunday morning when you're coming into the studio. Okay, so let's have a look at the article itself first. So we're talking about Cardano ADA here, the best investment for small investors as bulls take charge. Now, it definitely has gone that way. I'm going to go through some of the growth and the market as it's been growing the last week or so, and we're going to talk about that. But this discusses Bitcoin and comparing it to, say, Cardano, some of the altcoins. And I think it does make quite a good point, but this is basically what it talks about. Bulls seem to be taking control of the market after more than a year. Bitcoin is now above $4,100 and buying volumes are on the rise. If this momentum sustains, Bitcoin could easily push back above $6,000 in the next few weeks. This would drive more positive sentiment into the market and create the momentum to push it even further and possibly lead to a fully fledged bull market. One that could see Bitcoin repeat its 2017 feat either in 2019 or 2020. In such a case, anyone who holds several Bitcoins is likely to benefit big time. Their gains would even be higher if a Bitcoin trade is leveraged on exchanges that allow for it. Okay. It says, however, while Bitcoin made people wealthy in 2017, it would not be the best bet for someone who doesn't have several Bitcoins at this point. I don't really agree with this point. I mean, he carries on to say, that's because while its gains would be significant, numbers do matter too. Someone who owns a Bitcoin or less may not have any life-changing gains at this point. Even if Bitcoin were to push to 20k, someone with a single Bitcoin or less would be in profit, but they would still need to work. I don't think everybody who's into the cryptocurrencies necessarily, particularly even for speculative, are just thinking that even with Bitcoin or any of the others, we're going to invest and then retire straight away and just have the money to retire. Retirement money is a lot bigger than it used to be. It has to be a lot more than it used to be if you're talking about fiat cash. So, you know, I don't think any of us are that naive that we're thinking that. There is a few people, perhaps, and perhaps they will make it. And some people have, obviously, in the past. They have seen that growth. But it's not the necessity. Making good profit on an investment is good as well. Doesn't mean we have to or want to finish working and retire. But I understand what he's saying. So, basically, just to repeat that, even if Bitcoin were to push to 20k, someone with a single Bitcoin or less would be in profit, but they would still need to work. Well, that's fine by me. I don't mind working. Just to make life a little bit easier, it's fine. Bit of profit. The real beneficiary would be people with several Bitcoins so that the cumulative profit will be enough to retire. Personally, I think they need more than just several. For someone with a small investment in crypto, the best bet would be in low-cost, high-potential altcoins. That's because in a bull market, altcoins will most likely outperform Bitcoin by a huge margin. They are already showing this possibility. At the moment, Bitcoin is averaging 3% gains, while most altcoins are doing an average of 10%. That is true. That is true. We have got to look longer term and down the line. If you look at, there's various reasons for the price and the value going up. I've discussed this before in other videos. Also, you know, obviously the circulating supply, the total supply that's going to be out there, and stuff like that. This is why some altcoins are very different, and not just what they're used for and what they're created for, but also in their mathematics and how they work, you know. But it does make a point. There is a lot of altcoins out there if you're careful and you get invested in the wrong one, in the right ones. Now, these are kind of punting Cardano in a way. So they're saying one such altcoin is Cardano. Some are even giving gains of 20 to 30%. So they're talking about the 10%, but they're even talking about 20 and 30% range. And some give a lot more. But I suppose across the board, across a long period, you can easily get 10, 20 and 30% plus. This means that a well-placed investment of anything above $3,000 in a good altcoin can give you a tidy profit, probably enough to retire. And that's true. If you did direct your money in the right direction and you did get onto the right altcoin, yes, long term, if they are going to be fundamental to the future of blockchains, the future of cryptocurrencies, then long term you are probably going to get some huge gains. Long term you are going to get some monster gains, and perhaps retirement money. Yep, totally agree with that. Okay, but one such altcoin I'm talking about is Cardano, of course, and at the moment Cardano is trading at slightly under 5 cents, down from a high of close to $1.50. This means that an hypothetical investment of $3,000 in Cardano at this point would give you roughly 60,000 ADA. Okay, this means that if Cardano were to rise to its 2017 high of $1.50, it would give a profit of 90k. That's pretty good. You're not going to retire on that though. Let's face it, 90k is not enough to retire on. That's a good enough profit to change lives in most countries. In the event that the next bull run blows past all-time highs and Bitcoin hits a level like 50k, to be honest, for me, Bitcoin hitting 50k, I think that's going to be pretty easy long term. I can't see that being a problem. So we'll obviously see how that goes. How long that takes, who knows? But certainly, I can't see there being an issue reaching 50k, if I'm honest. Cardano could easily rise to over $5. At such a price level, 60,000 Cardano would easily give a profit of 300k. That's enough money to change lives in the developed world. Yes, it is. 300k is enough to change your life in the developed world, of course. Still, I don't think it's retirement money, depending on how old you are and what kind of assets you currently have. I don't think that's necessarily retirement money, okay? But certainly, a great amount of money for anybody, you know, so certainly pretty good. So at such a price level, that's $5, 60,000 Cardano would easily give a profit of about approximate 300k. That's enough money to change lives. Of course it is. Even 100k to be fair. But why Cardano? Well, not only is Cardano cheap, it also has very strong fundamentals. I'm a big fan of Cardano, I always have been. It is one of the projects that has a real solution to most of the problems facing blockchain technology. Cardano ADA is scalable, secure, and handles the problems of energy efficiency that POW, that proof of work, chains like Bitcoin, Ethereum face. It's a project that can change lives for small investors. Certainly, I've got quite a bit in ADA. I'm constantly accumulating stuff like ADA, XRP, and stuff like that. I do XLM as well, so Stellar Lumens. They're my kind of small value, or the smaller price at the moment, which we'll have a look at on the market. So yeah, I agree. You know, we can get them profits, and it might even be shorter term. To kind of compare it to Bitcoin away is okay, but the long-term percentage growth, having half a Bitcoin, one Bitcoin, I still think is essential. I still think having a piece of Bitcoin is essential. Now, if you look at the market, I'll go through this anyway. If you look currently, market cap 142 billion. It has been pretty much quite bullish movement, definitely bullish sentiment here. There has been things moving quite good. If you look here, down here, obviously we've got in the last 24 hours, Bitcoin's grown by 4.5%, Ethereum 10%, XRP. You can see all the figures there. You must use coinmarketcap.com by now, so you know the story here. But if you look, XRP currently on 33 cents. I did get some more at 25 cents, and I was hoping to get some more at 28, 29. Just didn't get a chance to buy. But these are the ones for me. I definitely, like I said before, Bitcoin, you certainly need to be invested in. XRP, I would say, definitely 100%. Don't forget, not a financial advisor, so check it out yourself. Make sure you've asked the right questions to the right people. Make sure you do your research. And don't forget, you can come and talk to me. Anybody can come and talk to me and have a chat with me. Test my knowledge. Test anybody else's knowledge you who are talking about this. Get the questions ready. Test them out, okay? Because if there is any gaps in the knowledge, it will come out as you're talking, okay? But you look at this, Bitcoin, currently $4,100. I've got a feeling if it does go below 4,000 again, it's not going to be much. That's what I reckon on that one. XRP, 33, like I say, 33 cents. You've got Litecoin currently at $52. And if you look at my other ones, which is Stellar, 9 cents. Yeah, I got this at 4 cents. I think I've mentioned that before. And then you've got Cardano down here at 4 cents, just under 5 cents there. Now, they're kind of essentials. They are definitely what I would say are essentials. You've got the low-valued kind of, you could have it as punts, but these ones are going to be fundamental as far as I'm concerned. Certainly Cardano. I think more than likely Stellar. Certainly XRP Ripple, for sure. And then Bitcoin. I'm also into Ethereum and Litecoin. Obviously, And I have got a lot of others, but they're my kind of primary ones, the ones I'm really into. And if you look at the biggest gainers, I've never really looked at this SafeCoin S4 FE, this SafeCoin. 57%, 25% for Ontology. There's some really big growers here. Neo, which I'm quite invested in as well. You've got quite a lot going in there. We have got greens across the board, which is great. Now, there will be a pullback more than likely. I can't see, to be honest, I can't see the bears taking over again now. I might be wrong, but I just think with the way the buying pressure is and the selling pressure, I think at the moment, the buying pressure is taking over. And even if it settles down, it'll only even out. I can't see at this stage and at this amount here, 142 billion market cap in the whole market. I cannot see that the bears will take over that. I just think it's going to even out, if anything. At worst case scenario, we'll probably get some drops, but I can't see it going through the floor. So we're just going to see how it goes over the year. Somebody did mention one article that potentially the first quarter of this year, by say March time, we will have a drop down to $1,200 for Bitcoin, maybe $1,500 for Bitcoin, and stuff like that. I don't think that can happen. Like we say, we could all be wrong, but I do not believe that can happen right now. I think the buying pressure is too much for the selling pressure to go that low. So I just think that it perhaps might even out. But we'll see what happens. Have a look at them articles. Don't forget, guys, if you've got any questions, test us out. Anything to do with the market, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, whatever it is, okay? Specific cryptocurrencies you can do research on, of course. I have done a video on research. If you want to know any more about that, let me know. But in my opinion, if you're not in already, get in. If you don't want to buy Bitcoin, fine, go for the altcoins. You are potentially going to get some really good, huge, life-changing gains long term. I would say if you can, get involved in Bitcoin as well. Don't forget, you don't need a full Bitcoin. You don't need a full Bitcoin. And as the article says about, several, you don't need that as well. You can still make some good gains without that. $50,000 for Bitcoin in the future, I don't think that's going to be too difficult. Okay, long term, not too difficult. Certainly, like I said before, these smaller cryptos, these altcoins that article talks about, XRP, Stellar Lumens, ADA Cardano, and there is some others, but they are some major players, and they are the major ones to get involved with, particularly that price. Talked before about circulating supply and how that affects the price, of course. Don't forget, some of the cryptocurrencies, they do a burn off as well. XRP does a very small burn off per transaction. There is more to it than that, but if you want to know any more information about that, let us know. Hope this video helps you a bit, guys. I hope the market continues to do what it's doing, because it is pretty phenomenal at the moment. And we shall continue monitoring it. Don't forget, guys, if you did like this video, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, because that's dead important. How are you going to get all the great information and videos from me? We are always looking at improving the channel. We're working on it. Time is a bit of restraint sometimes, as I do work in the day through the week. But I am going to work on it a bit more. If there is anything you want me to do or cover, please let me know. But I will be speaking to you very, very soon, guys. Take it easy.